Guys, what's up? It is Doug, and welcome to another edition of Spooky Village. It's been a minute since I've been on here. Hey, we're getting ready to get into the season now, and I'm really excited to do this video today because Michaels and Lemax have announced the Lemax exclusives that you can only get at Michaels stores this summer. Now, before getting into these buildings, I just want to say, because I know it's going to be asked by newbies, Michaels traditionally releases these buildings to their stores in middle of July, give or take. Normally a little bit later in July. It's varied over the years, but that's typically, when it happens. This year, with the whole tariff situation, I don't know exactly when they're going to come out, but traditionally it's always been middle of July, mid to late July when they've come out and they've actually hit stores. All right, guys, I want to start off with the piece I'm most excited for here. It is another Lemax Spooky Town facade, which means we are getting 2 facades this year. There is the Spooky Days Ahead one, which is a 2025 mainline release that was discussed in the preview videos, for the line that's coming out, which that means it can be sold at other dealers. And when that came out, I figured there's no way that we're going to get another facade then as far as the Michaels exclusives go, because the last few years, the Spooky Town facade gets released at Michaels store first. And it turns out this year I was wrong, and I'm really excited to be wrong because I love how this looks. This is, this is kind of the spooky stores. For Harry Potter fans, this is reminiscent of like Diagon Alley. You have the Dr. Frank's Laboratory Supplies, which is kind of this, the pharmacy here. And these both the buildings are dilapidated. They work, really well together. The other one here, the Drax Cabinet of Oddities, is vampire themed, or at least that's the vibe that it's giving off there with the vampire out front, and of course, Drax on the sign. I love this, and it actually goes pretty well together with the Spooky Days Ahead facade that's also releasing this year. So even if you didn't want to get anything from previous years, you could have a nice little facade, seen on your shelf or something like that. And, for those of you that don't know what the facades are, I guess I should have started with that. The facades are just the front of buildings here. The back is relatively flat. And it's designed, well, as it's said, a facade, right? It's designed for, to hang on your wall, put on a shelf or something like that. And there are a few of these now that are out there. So if you put them together, you can make a little scene out of it. And I'm really excited to add the 2 from this year to the past facades. And whenever I wind up doing a review video of this one, I will absolutely show them all lined up, because I'm probably going to be putting them on my fireplace this year, above my fireplace on the mantle. These are really cool, well done, great lighting. And FYI here, the pictures that I'm using here, these are all from Michaels, the website, and also the video clips are from the Lemax YouTube channel. They were the videos embedded on the Michaels site. Price of this one, $129.99. I don't want to get crazy into the pricing stuff because with Michaels, there's going to be coupons involved, so the retail isn't always the retail. And don't ever buy anything full retail at Michaels. You shouldn't. You should use a coupon. These pieces are priced with coupons accordingly. I'll do another video when we get a little bit closer to the season to discuss all of that. So I won't get in the weeds here, but the price that's listed on this one is $129.99. I'm really excited for this one. Monsters on Main Street is really, really cool. All right, up next, guys, we have the Count's Candy Corn Factory. This one is priced or listed at $199.99. And whereas the last piece I was completely excited about, this one is kind of on the opposite end of my enthusiasm. I like that this is candy corn themed, and there's a lot going on here. This is going to be a showpiece piece. It's one that, is going to draw eyes at Michaels. But the theming here really, to my knowledge, doesn't really make sense. You have, the candy corns with the vampires, and you have bats on top of it. I don't really understand how those go together. I could be wrong or missing something here. You can correct me in the comments there. But this one, it kind of just looks crazily themed and put together on it. This piece also has a lot of animation going on. A lot of the Michaels buildings this year do not have actual animation. They have lighting on it, but not really. Most of these are not animated. And it's like they got it out of their system on this one. It will be interesting to see what this one does for me in person, because video-wise and everything, the theming, this is not for me. But it's going to show well in videos because the animated pieces usually do. They're fun to do the video reviews on. You never know what's going to grab you and what's not. That's one of the fun things about Spooky Town in general, or Halloween villaging in general, is some of the pieces they grab you in person, whereas you might not like them as much just from the the pictures. Up next, we have the Jumpin' Jacks Ferris wheel. This one retails for $179.99. It is a carnival ride, and usually Lemax does a carnival ride with their Michaels exclusives, and that's how they release it typically. And whenever one was not announced in the main line this year, I figured there was going to be one. There's actually a couple that would qualify, but this is the big carnival ride. So this Ferris wheel is different than the Web of Terror, which they did recently, and also the Wheel of Horror. That's from several years ago. But the Web of Terror and that one are more traditional Ferris wheels. This has front-facing carriages, and it looks more like a kiddie Ferris wheel. That's what it looks like to me. And I do like the colors on this one. Of course, it's pumpkin-themed. Pumpkin-themed anything is going to work for me. But this one looks more like a kiddie ride than the other one, especially the Web of Terror, which is more the big traditional Ferris wheel. But I think a lot of folks are going to like this one because, again, pumpkin-themed stuff always sells well, and the lighting on it's pretty good too. Up next, we have the Monstarcade. And this one, not to be confused with a piece from years ago, the Monster Arcade, very similarly named, but it's an arcade. And this one would go in a town, but I also kind of view it almost as like another carnival piece. It's not like a ride, but this would obviously work for an amusement park. I like the look of this here as a big gamer myself and classic arcade guy. I like how the outside on the signs there, it's very reminiscent of Pac-Man, the skulls, and there's a lot of like pixelated design here. It's cute. One thing that would have been cooler though, a lot of Lemax Spooky Town pieces. The theater recently did a great job of this, but they'll put like different movie posters, which are fun nods to other movies or other things. This one here just has all the arcade cabinets just say slash on it, and it's got a slash through it. It would be fun if there were a bunch of different arcade spoof names on them. That would be one thing that kind of jumps out at me. It would be nice to see them do, but I actually am enthused about this piece because I like it's lit. There's no soundtrack on it, but I like how the lights out there, they do move on the main facade of it. I think it looks good, and the Monster Arcade's been retired for a long time, so it's nice that they're bringing another one of these out because it's a popular piece for carnivals or other things, and I know on the retired market, that one is starting to command a pretty good price, so it's nice to see them put another arcade out there. And this one is very overtly themed as an arcade. I like the Game Over, up there, which is kind of the big thing on the sign of it, or above the sign or above the marquee. And I love the Pac-Man, the nod of the Pac-Man goes with the skulls there. And that the pixelated eyes that are above the whole thing. So I dig it, and it's got good lighting on it. And this one is priced at $119.99. Up next, we have the Gates to the Underworld. This one is $89.99, and I like the looks of this one. So I like the lit fire, how Lemax does like the pulsing fire. They have used that a lot on pieces in recent years, and I really dig it. This one here could go for a carnival because it kind of looks like the entrance to that, and it's kind of, you have like the snakes there. You get a lot going on here to where it could work like that, or it would work with pieces like Skull Cave Quarry. They've done a lot of that recently, and the skull is the prominent thing here. This is a smaller piece, it looks like. It's also reminiscent kind of the Explorer theme from back in the day. There's a lot going on here, though, as I mentioned. So you have the snake, you have a three-headed dog over in the corner like the Cerberus, and you have the Reaper up on top there. This piece looks like it would kind of vibe with the new Full Moon Lagoon, which is coming out this year. And because the bottom of it here, one, you have a lot of like the stone facade here going on, but the bottom of it is, it's got a dock on it, but the base of it looks like it's water. This one is priced at $89.99. Up next for $89.99, we have the Petrified Forest Treehouse. So this piece is just static lit. There's greens and yellows on it. And this is that of a treehouse, but it's not like a treehouse like you'd have in like a backyard or something. This is more like a spooky, twisted fairy tale type of a treehouse. There's skeletons on this, and there's also a big snake at the bottom. It seems like Lemax more and more seems to be using snakes. This piece would very much be at home in like a haunted forest. There's even a tree sticking out the top of it. But that is the Petrified Forest Treehouse. Up next for $79.99, we have the Zoomie Brooms. This is a cute piece. So this piece is supposed to be witches in training flying, but you could actually use it, I think, for a carnival ride if you needed to, or even like a smaller one like you would find in maybe a pumpkin patch, which is, sometimes in something like that, you're not going to find a full-fledged ride. You find smaller ones for kids. So in a jam, you could do it. But it is a cute piece how, even on the side, they're the practice brooms. And it says student flyer that the witches have there. It's cute. I really do like that flashing light that's on top of the sign there. It gives the piece a nice little pop. It's a cute piece. Next to last, for $59.99, we have the lighted coffin, the table accent piece. And this one is actually pretty cool. When I saw the initial picture of it, before I saw the animation, I didn't think as much of it. But this one looks pretty cool the way the coffin here, it looks like it's shaking, that someone, presumably a vampire, is coming out of it. And you've got this woman in red with blood on her mouth and her fangs. And then next to it, it looks like is a vampire slayer here who's ready to put the vampire down or the monster whenever they get out with a stake, it looks like, then it's in his hand. Pretty cool little piece here. I like the animation. You don't see the shaker like that often, but it brings attention to it. And at $59.99, if you get it for a coupon, be a relatively affordable accent piece. If you have a vampire scene or something else like that, it could be a cool piece. I'm really interested to see what this looks like in person because Lemax has done a pretty good job in the last couple of years with the table accent pieces that have really surprised me. My favorite being the fountain that came out recently, which was really cool, I thought, in person. So be interesting to see what this looks like actually in person. But I like what's going on here, the little story that it looks like it's trying to tell, and the animation piece, and it's lit too, the coffin that has the lighting inside of it too. And lastly, we have Zelda's Black Hat Pizzeria. This table accent piece retails for $54.99. It's another cute piece here. It's basically like a wood-fired pizza oven with the witch hat on it, and the witches are serving monsters. And I think it's pretty cute. You could use this in like a realistic type of setting, and just kind of pretend that the monsters there are just people in costume. It looks like people in costume except for the skeleton there. But again, you can just pretend that these are people in costume, and you could get away with using it in a more realistic village like that. Or you could use it in a monster town where you would have actually witches serving monsters. So it's a pretty cool little accent piece, and it looks like the fire in there inside the wood-fired oven, it looks like that is probably going to be pulsing. There's the Michaels collection, guys. There's a good number of pieces this year that are going to be there. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of the collection in general? What's your favorite? Just anything you have there, leave me in the comments. I love reading them. I am stoked for that facade. They have just absolutely been crushing it. That is the best thing that's been going on in Spooky Town for years now, I think, of the facades, and I cannot wait to get my hands on that one. And looking forward to reviewing all of the buildings here. Hopefully they all hit the Michaels stores in July as normal. Again, with this year being kind of crazy with the tariff situation, I don't know exactly when they're going to come out, but if we go in past years, in July, we can look forward to seeing these in Michael's stores, hopefully at least. All right, guys, hey, thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon here with some building reviews starting up as soon as I get my hands on them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thanking my Patreon supporters as always, and I'll see you guys soon.